Welcome everybody. You're on Mind Your Biz, and we have Christina Flach of Pretty Girl Makeup with us. And thank you, Christina, for letting us mind your biz today.
Well, thank you for having me.
So tell us about your line. I'm digging it right off the bat because it's vegan, it's organic. So tell us a whole lot more about it.
So I'm a celebrity makeup artist, and I created Pretty Girl in a long time ago in 1999, and I've been working as a makeup artist and just creating my line and expanding it over the years. It's so interesting. Over COVID, I actually had some investors come, so I'm going to be able to expand my line with my partner Jordan, and we're going to also include a hair care line and a skincare line. So we're very excited about, this coming year because it's going to be a big year for us. I didn't think it was going to happen after all this time. I've been self-funded and, being a mother and, being a makeup artist and then running my business. And I've never gone after investors, but I got a business partner over COVID. And he's amazing. And he put up together an incredible business plan. And we've got these investors that are excited about us and ready to put a bunch of money in to help us, because that's really the only way to grow. You cannot have a makeup line anymore. You can't compete with these celebrities with the endless pockets of influencers. It's impossible. It doesn't matter how great your product does. It is what it is. It's all about how you're going to market it and, these influencers. So
That's so true. And another great thing that came out of COVID, I always have to emphasize, because there's a lot of suffering, a lot of bad stuff, but I love it when we hear some great things come out of COVID, and especially for an entrepreneur like yourself. So how do you think you're able to compete now that you have, investors? I feel like it's just so tough, like you said, without these, Kylie Jenners behind it and Kardashian and some big actress or model. Or how are you able to really bring a great product to the masses?
Well, I think what we're doing is we're bringing a quality product. It's been around a long time. I'm not just some celebrity that's come up with a line. I actually formulated it with my chemist hand in hand. I've done this all by myself, and I'm also a working makeup artist. It's very different. I come with a lot more credibility, I think, than a lot of people that just are a name. I actually am someone that works every day as a makeup artist and works with celebrities and actors and athletes and musicians. And it's just a different thing. I think everyone can have their niche. I'm not, criticizing any of these brands, because I think they're all fantastic in their own way, and they're incredibly successful. And I think it's great. Of course, it does feel a little hard when I'm looking at how hard I work, and it feels to me like they've been handed something. It was much easier for them than mine, but that was the path that I chose, and now it's happening. So it's pretty exciting. So I think that my partner and I, we're going to expand our team to deal with social media and the marketing and expanding things. And I think I have 100% faith that it's going to do well.
Excellent. So are you allowed to tell us some of the celebrities you may have powdered up?
Sure. So I've worked with Condoleezza Rice, Journey, Metallica, Hilary Swank. I've worked with a bunch of fashion houses, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Armani. I just did a commercial with Roger Lodge down in Los Angeles. I finished, right before COVID, I finished a TV show with Isaiah Washington, who used to be on Grey's Anatomy. So I have a big list of very exciting, and I work a lot with the Food Network, Tyler Florence, Bobby Flay.
Wow, a
lot of athletes. There. So I'm very blessed to have a very rounded, a bunch of different clients, men and women.
That's great. So yeah, you must have worked real hard to get to
it's really fun. I have, and my agents have done an amazing job as well. Booking me these jobs. Last week I did a commercial shoot for the new CEO of Instacart. So that was fun to meet her. She's French and very young woman. I don't even think she's 40.
Wow.
So it's always fun to meet these different people in very different occupations than my normal day. So and that's one blessing of having this job. You get to meet a lot of very interesting people and speak with them at a really intimate high level that, you don't really get to do every day. So that's something I especially love of my career.
Wow. So tell our audience, what's it like being a mother, being a pretty high profile, hardworking, makeup artist and starting your own business? I mean, how do you do it? How do you do it all?
A lot of organizing. Now, I love being a mother. It fills my heart. I have 5 beautiful children, and they're all exquisite human beings, and I'm very proud of who they are as people. They're just good, hardworking, kind, loving individuals, and I'm very blessed to be their mother. So it's great. But, it was hard, when they were little, of course, but I had, a nanny and a housekeeper. So I was very blessed. I can't say I did it all on my own, and their dad is great. And, he's very helpful as well. So
But you made it happen. And
it's been a journey, but my kids are all grown up now. I have one daughter, she's a fashion designer. She's going to be 28. And my daughter Rose is a screenwriter, and she's going to be 26. And Nikolai is trying to turn pro as a golfer, and he's going to be 21. And Ben is going to be 15, and he's actually in Texas right now with his dad playing a junior golf tournament. So they all have they're all busy in their lives.
That's right. And look who they took after. Staying real busy.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
I love hearing that.
Being busy, it's a good thing.
And I don't want to hear excuses, because you've done it with 5 kids, celebrity makeup artist, started your own business. So people, I don't want to hear it, especially if you have no kids. There's really no excuse. No excuse.
No, I think they say that the busier the person is, the more they get done, because you really don't have a lot of time for messing around. And I also, I'm a sepsis awareness advocate as well. And my husband, Ken Flach, passed away. He was a professional tennis player, and he passed away 3.5 years ago from sepsis. So the Sepsis Alliance had contacted me asking if I'd be willing to raise awareness using my husband's name. So other people don't have to experience what my family has gone through. So I do that as well. And then I don't even know how this segued into me speaking about grieving in a positive way, because, I feel like, when someone passes away, people are in mourning and they're really sad. And sometimes they don't want to get out of that place, or they're incapable. And I don't feel that that's quite honoring your loved one. I started a foundation for my husband and for my son. One of my sons passed away, Bo. And so I started educational foundations at a school in Oakland, California called the Northern Light School. Education and nutrition are incredibly important to me. And so I wanted I wanted to keep their memories alive. And so we did that. And then there's a garden at the Edna McGuire School in Mill Valley that my friend Lisa Zimmer, who was the principal at the time, we raised a bunch of money and made this outdoor classroom named after my son, Bo. And it's amazing because there's a big garden, and the children learn from a young age how to, plant seeds and grow vegetables and, pick fruits, and there's chickens. And then, they're much more inclined to eat healthier when they grow it themselves and they get to pick it. So
wow, that's great.
Yes,
you turned a lot
life takes certain roads that you don't quite expect, and you kind of just have to flow with it, or you could choose to be miserable, and I don't choose that. So
clearly, wow. So you really turned something really negative into a really positive thing. So I definitely commend you for that. That's not easy. So tell us a little bit about, a lot of entrepreneurs really struggle to really bring their business to real reality and fruition. What's some of the tricks or some of the little secret recipes of really getting something accomplished? Because we all know all the challenges, but what were some of the moments or the little things you might have done that made a big difference?
Well, I think, just getting the initial idea of what you're going to do. I didn't know that I was going to start a makeup company. It was never in the plan. I don't even know what my plan was, but I certainly didn't think I was going to create a makeup line. But I was on holiday with some friends and my family in Hawaii, and I have this funny German friend, and she was a model, and she said, "Honey, we're being pretty girls. No one knows we're mommies." And I started laughing. I thought it was the funniest thing I ever heard. And I said, what does that even mean? She goes, we're reading our magazines, having an iced tea or maybe a Mai Tai, and no one knows we're mommies for 4 seconds. And we're just being pretty. And I just thought that was so funny. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to name a company that, because I'd kind of been playing with the idea of creating a line. So I'm like, Pretty Girl. It's like so natural. It's because it's about being pretty on the inside and on the pretty on the outside. It's so, you start with an idea and then you need to set some realistic goals. And you have to really, the most important thing is really love what you're doing, because it is so much more time, so much more money, so much more effort. It's so much more everything than you expect. So just know you have to be loving it so much that you don't care that you're not making any money or very little, or maybe even losing for a bit. So I think you have to kind of make that commitment. And from there, get some help. I should have gotten funding sooner. That would have been a wiser thing to do, but I didn't. Get a good business plan together. And then I also feel that we can't be excellent at everything, right? Like I am great at creating this and managing things, but I'm not so strong and I don't have an MBA and I don't, I didn't know how to do a business plan. So I have a partner that kind of completes me. He's in charge of the money and he's in charge of, the business plans and all that stuff. So I think it's important to know your strengths, but to know your weaknesses as well. So you can find it, create a team. And being a CEO, that's kind of a big deal, is you need to create a team that is strong and not be such a control freak that you want to do everything. You have to know what your limitations are, what you're good at, and the strengths of your team. I mean, you'll only grow if you do that. But if you're so stuck of like, no, I have to have my foot in every little thing, trust your team and they'll do a great job and they're going to feel better about their job when you have the confidence in them to do what they think is best.
That's really great. All great information. And I preach that all the time in all my consults. And letting go is a big part of growing. Letting go of certain responsibilities, especially when someone else can do it better. So you have
Absolutely.
You can't be afraid to bring other people into your world and into your business. And I know it's your baby.
And then you also have to think, my husband told me something once and it was so true. He's like, do you want to own 100% of nothing or, 51% of 100 million? So that's another thing. Absolutely. To keep in mind as well.
And I tell them the same thing. I actually go a little lower. I said 10% of 100 million. But if you can own 51% of 100.
Exactly.
Then, hey, go for it.
Absolutely.
That's 100%
it's true.
100% true. Don't be greedy. Don't put all the weight on your own shoulders. Find people that are smarter than you at certain things.
Absolutely.
And that's the key to success. You can't do it all. You just can't.
No, you're 100% right.
And
I think once you do that, it's kind of freeing, actually. It takes so much pressure off. It's like, oh, I don't have to worry about Instagram and, TikTok and all these things that, you need to be 20 years old to know how to do. Like, you just let you get a team that's strong and that, is, I think it's really important as a CEO to just feel like keep your team in a positive, healthy way. Let them do their job, and if there's always going to be bumps and mistakes. There's no need to get angry. It's just like, okay, let's learn from this and move on. And, being very transparent and trying to, I always try to like say something positive before I say something that's, upset, like that's not being done correctly. Like, oh my gosh, that's fantastic what you're doing over here, but over here, this needs a little work. And I think you can tell anyone pretty much anything and get your point across, but it doesn't need to be in a hostile or negative or aggressive way.
Not at all. Well, this is all great stuff. I'm really, impressed about your resilience and determination and all the great causes that you're also, advocating. So tell everybody where they can find Pretty Girl Makeup.
Well, you go to prettygirlmakeup.com. We're on Amazon, and we're in a bunch of different salons and boutiques all across the country, but we're going to be, in some big stores and hopefully on TV as well on QVC HSN in the coming year. So we're looking forward to all these exciting new things that are happening.
Yeah, you must be, just elated because you've held on to this business and you've been trying to kick it over, and it seems like it's ready to run.
It's true. I feel like angels from heaven are watching over me. And it's exciting. And I think, if like I said earlier about not giving up and just keep rolling, things change. So, when I started, there wasn't Facebook or Instagram or influencers. There were beauty editors and stylists and publicists, and that's really all you dealt with. And so you do have to roll with changes, and change is fine. That's one thing in life that's always going to be. You can count on change. There's always going to be change. So you have to deal with it, or life's going to be really hard if you can't handle it.
Absolutely. And as an entrepreneur, you got to be fluid. If you're not fluid, you just drown. You just hit brick walls.
It's true.
So this was a great chat. I really appreciate talking to you, and I know you inspired a lot of other entrepreneurs that are watching.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
And everybody, just go to prettygirlmakeup.com, and Christina also represents some great causes. If you also have a passion.
Yes, you can go to Sepsis Alliance to find out more about sepsis, the signs of sepsis. And then to see my portfolio, go to ChristinaFlach.com.
Excellent. Well, Christina, as always, thank you for letting us mind your biz.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a great day.
You too. I wish you much luck.
The biz is here.